It was a rainy Monday morning when the students of Newton Science University saw something strange. A tall man, no, not a man, something else, walked into room 7B. He was wearing a long silver coat, and his skin glowed faintly like a moon in fog. His eyes were big, deep, and dark. He didn't smile. He didn't blink. Everyone went silent. The new professor wrote his name on the board, with a finger that looked like metal. Professor Shah. The board displayed glowing dot. Alex, sitting in the back row, leaned to his friend Sam and whispered, "Is this a joke? He's not human. He's real," Sam whispered back. "They say he came from another planet. Part of the new alien exchange program." Alex rolled his eyes. He wasn't interested in science or aliens. He only cared about passing his final exam and getting out. Professor Shah turned around slowly. His voice was not loud, but it echoed in the room like thunder. "This class will not be easy. I will test your minds. And your nature." The whole room shivered. For the next few weeks, strange things started happening. Professor Shah never brought notes. He never looked at a screen. He just stared at the class, and somehow, the right information appeared in everyone's heads, like a download. He never shouted, but when someone lied, the lights flickered. Students dropped the class. They said they had nightmares after attending his lectures. But Alex stayed, not because he was brave, but because he needed to pass this class to graduate. Still, he didn't do well. One day, after failing another quiz, Alex was walking out when Professor Shah stopped him. "Mr. Alex, stay behind." Alex froze. "Yes, Professor." Professor Shah looked at him for a long time. His eyes seemed to see everything. His laziness, his excuses, his dreams. "You are failing. But I see something in you." Alex blinked. Thank you. Do you wish to pass?" "Of course." "Then accept my special exam. It will not be like others. You will not write. You will experience." Alex laughed nervously. "Is this like extra credit?" Shah didn't answer. He pressed his hand to the wall, and a secret door opened behind his desk. There was a soft blue light coming from inside. Strange symbols floated in the air. "Enter. Your exam begins now." Alex stepped back. "Wait, this is a joke, right? You may walk away and remain average, or step in and discover who you really are." Alex looked into the glowing room. His heart raced. What kind of exam was this? He stepped in. The door shut behind him. He turned, but the professor was gone. Suddenly, the floor moved. The room stretched like a dream. Gravity disappeared. Lights floated. A soft voice spoke in his mind. "Candidate. Human. Alex Carter. Testing sequence. Initializing." He was no longer in the classroom. He was no longer on Earth. Alex stood in a strange floating chamber. The walls were alive, pulsing with light and sound. Screens appeared around him, showing alien symbols, timelines, DNA strands, and then, him, a robot floated down from above. It had many eyes, but no mouth. "Welcome to the trial, human. What is this? Where am I?" "You are inside the mind core. This is the professor's true exam. To pass, you must complete 3 tests: logic, strength, morality." Alex stepped back. "This is insane. I didn't sign up for this." "You agreed when you entered." Alex looked around. No doors, no windows. Only silence and stars outside. He tried to scream, but no one heard him. The robot floated closer. "You are the 5th student to attempt this. The others failed." Alex's mouth went dry. What happened to them? Irrelevant. "Your trial begins in 10 minutes. He sat down, breathing hard. This couldn't be real. Was he dreaming? Drugged? He slapped himself. It hurt. No. It was real. And he was alone. Back in the classroom. Professor Shah looked at the closed wall. He spoke softly, but with power. "Let's see what kind of human you are, Alex Carter." His eyes glowed bright, not with anger, but with hope. Alex was falling, but not downward. It felt like falling sideways, through time, or light, or sound. Colors he had never seen swirled around him. Blue that tasted like metal, red that felt cold. His breath didn't work the same here. Gravity came and went, like a flickering light. And then, everything stopped. He landed on something soft, but invisible. It held him, like air with weight. He stood up slowly, eyes wide. The room around him was huge, like a planet inside a machine. Floating cubes, rotating rings, flashing symbols danced in the air. There was no floor, just glowing lines beneath his feet. Like walking on a map made of light. Alex whispered to himself, "This is not Earth anymore." A voice spoke. Not from outside, but from inside his head. Welcome to Phase 1, Logic. Alex turned around quickly. A floating orb hovered behind him. It had tiny mechanical arms, blinking lights, and one central eye that stared at him without emotion. I am LUX7. I will observe. I will judge. I will not help. Great, Alex muttered. Just what I needed. A floating camera with an attitude. LUX7 didn't react. You must complete the logic trial to proceed. Failure will result in ... deletion. Deletion. Alex stepped back. Wait, like death. That is a human word. You may begin now. Suddenly, a doorway appeared in the air, outlined in green light. Alex walked through it and found himself in a maze. But this maze wasn't made of walls. It was made of questions. Each time he stepped forward, a glowing panel rose from the floor and spoke a riddle. The first one read, I speak without a mouth. I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Alex blinked. Easy, an echo. The panel disappeared. The path opened. He moved forward. Next question. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? M, he said quickly. The letter M. Another panel vanished. Another path opened. So far, so good. But the questions got harder. Stranger. They didn't always follow Earth logic. A planet spins backward, but time moves forward. You move, but go nowhere. What are you? Alex frowned. Is this a dream? Incorrect. The floor below him glowed red. It cracked open, revealing a glowing pit beneath. Alex jumped backward, heart racing. Warning. 2 more errors allowed. Okay, Alex muttered. Think, Alex. Use your brain. He walked slower now. Focused. Some questions were about space. Some about ethics. Some had no answer, or too many. He began to realize something. These weren't normal tests. These questions were watching how he thought, not just what he answered. He tried to follow the rules. But the more he played safe, the more confused he became. Then came the hardest riddle yet. You find a door with no handle. Behind it is everything you want. In front of it, a mirror shows your worst fear. What do you do? He hesitated. This wasn't logic. This was a trap. He said slowly, break the mirror. The panel paused, then vanished. Rule broken. Creative. Solution detected. The maze began to shift. The walls turned to glass. Alex could now see paths he couldn't before. He had passed, not by following rules, but by breaking them. Back in the observation room, Professor Shah watched Alex's progress. Dozens of alien minds watched with him, their thoughts linked. He is different, Shah said quietly. One alien beside him replied. He disrespects structure that is dangerous. Shah nodded. Or is what we need. Alex reached the final chamber. Lux 7 hovered above him. Phase 1 complete. You passed. ... Barely. Thanks for the encouragement, Alex said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Next, Phase 2. Strength. A new door opened. Behind it, darkness, and something growling. Alex sighed. Of course, why not? He stepped forward. As soon as he entered, the door vanished. The air was heavier here. Hotter. The ground was solid cracked stone with red veins glowing underneath. Something massive moved in the shadows. Then it stepped out. An alien beast. 10 feet tall. Skin like armor. Eyes like fire. It roared. Alex froze. Okay, definitely not a gym workout. A mechanical voice boomed. Defeat the Guardian. Time limit. 5 minutes. Begin. The beast charged. Alex dove aside, rolled, and hid behind a glowing rock. He had no weapons. No training. No chance. Or did he? He looked at the walls. There were strange vines, sharp rocks, pieces of metal. A plan began to form. Not a fight, a trick. He smiled slightly. Let's see how smart you are, big guy. Far above, Shah watched closely. He is not the strongest, but he learns. Another alien asked, will he survive? Shah didn't answer. He only said, we are about to find out. Alex didn't run. He sprinted, ducked, rolled. Anything to avoid the monster behind him. The beast roared, its heavy steps shaking the red ground. He wasn't strong. He knew that. But he was human. And humans had something the alien test didn't expect. Imagination. 2 minutes earlier. The trial had started. The alien creature had charged with speed no beast that size should have. Alex barely escaped being crushed. He looked around, mind racing. No weapons. No shields. just a field of glowing rocks and strange vines hanging from the ceiling. Alex whispered to himself, "Think, think, think." He grabbed a vine. It was flexible, but strong. An idea sparked. He ran behind a tall pillar and waited. The beast roared again and followed. Alex moved fast, tied a loop in the vine, ran around the pillar, then sprinted to the next one. Repeating the same motion, he made a web, a trap. He threw a rock to distract the creature. It charged again. This time, it didn't see the vine trap. The creature hit it hard. The vine snapped tight, yanking it sideways. The beast stumbled, crashed into a wall, then fell with a loud, ground-shaking thud. Alex stood over it, breathing hard. Trial complete. The mechanical voice echoed. He smiled. Victory not by power, but by planning. LUX-7 appeared, floating as usual. "You surprised me, human." Alex wiped sweat from his face. "Good. I like surprising aliens." Phase 2 passed. Final phase remains. Alex looked up. What now? A door appeared again, glowing gold this time. Lux-7 said one last thing, before disappearing. "This final test will judge your heart." Before he stepped through the door, Alex paused. His journey had started in a classroom, a boring science class with a strange alien professor. Now he was walking through alien trials in a living machine world. He wasn't sure who he was anymore, but he knew one thing. He couldn't go back until he understood why he was here. He stepped through the golden door, and everything changed. There were no puzzles, no beasts, just a quiet white room with 2 chairs, 2 lights, and 2 beings. One was a small girl, maybe 8 years old, with big brown eyes and a scared expression. The other was a humanoid robot, glowing softly, with wires where hair should be. A voice echoed from nowhere. "This is Phase 3, Morality." Alex looked around. What kind of test is this? One of these beings is real, the other is not. One will live, one will be deleted. What? I'm supposed to choose who dies? Yes, you have 60 seconds. Alex's heart dropped. He walked forward slowly. The girl cried softly. The robot stood still. He asked, "Are you real?" The girl nodded. "I'm real. Please help me." He turned to the robot. "What about you?" The robot replied, "I am not real. Save the child." Alex narrowed his eyes. That's too easy. Time ticked. He paced, thought. Then the idea came. He sat between them and said nothing. Time remaining. 10 seconds. Alex closed his eyes. "I won't choose," he said. "Clarify. I'm not playing your game. If this test is about morality, then forcing me to kill is the real test. I choose to save both. That is not allowed." Alex stood. "Then I fail. But I won't be part of this." Silence. Then a loud hum filled the room. The robot vanished. The girl changed, glowing briefly, then turned into Professor XR. Alex gasped. Yusha smiled for the first time. "You passed. I thought I failed. You refused to follow a broken rule. That is true morality." The room faded. Alex was standing once again in the center chamber of the mind core. Floating, lights swirled above him. Shar stood beside him now, not as a professor, but as something more. Alex asked, "What was all this?" Shar looked into the swirling sky. "My people created these tests to find what they have lost. Creativity, compassion, rebellion." Alex frowned. "You mean human traits?" "Yes, you were not chosen by accident. You were watched, selected." Alex took a step back. "So I was a lab rat?" "No, a seed." Shar raised his hand. A star map appeared in the air. Thousands of glowing worlds. "Our civilization is ending. We need new leaders, new ideas. We need humans." Alex stared at the stars. His voice was quiet. "So what now?" Shar looked at him with something close to pride. "Now, you choose. Return to your world, or help save another." Alex didn't speak for a long moment. Then he smiled. "I never liked exams, but this one, I think I passed." Alex didn't remember falling asleep, but when he opened his eyes, the sky was red. Not red like a sunset, but deep, blood red, as if the world was bleeding. He was no longer in the clean, white room of the morality trial. He was somewhere else, somewhere alive. The ground under his feet pulsed like a heartbeat. The air was thick, hot, and smelled like metal. Strange towers made of bone and stone rose in the distance. A voice echoed in his mind. "Phase 4. Strength." Alex blinked. "Phase 4. I thought there were only 3. You passed the Official trials. This one is personal. Suddenly, the ground shook. Something massive was coming. He turned, and his breath caught. From the horizon, a shape moved closer faster than anything its size should be able to. A giant dot, 10 meters tall, skin like molten rock. 2 arms like hammers. No eyes, only a glowing mouth. And it was headed straight for him. Alex didn't run. Not this time. He scanned the area to his right. Piles of broken weapons, spears, axes, some alien gear to his left, an old tower, half-collapsed dot, and in front, nothing but flat ground. Alex spoke out loud. I don't stand a chance in a straight fight. The giant roared. Alex ran, but not away. He darted toward the tower ruins. He grabbed a long spear with a cracked handle and ducked behind a pillar. The giant's footsteps shook the earth. Each step was like thunder. Alex peeked from behind the rock and shouted, Come on, you oversized oven. The creature turned, growled, and charged. Alex waited. Waited, and then jumped aside. The giant smashed into the pillar, sending stone flying. But Alex wasn't hit. He had moved just in time. He dashed into the ruins. Strength is not only muscle, said the voice in his mind. It is mind. It is will. Yeah, Alex muttered. Tell that to the lava monster chasing me. Inside the ruins, Alex found a broken platform, hanging from a chain above. An idea sparked. He climbed a cracked beam, swung across a vine, and reached the platform below. The giant was smashing walls, looking for him. Alex untied the chain holding the platform. Slowly, quietly, the platform began to creak. The chain groaned. The beast stepped directly beneath it. Alex took a deep breath and jumped. He landed hard on the platform, snapping the chain. The giant looked up. Too late. The entire structure crashed down on its head. Dust flew. Stones cracked. The ground stopped shaking. Silence. Alex crawled out, coughing, bruised, but alive. Trial complete, the voice said softly. But before he could rest, something unexpected happened. The broken stones began to move. Alex stepped back in horror. The giant was not dead. It was changing. Its form melted into a pool of black energy. That energy rose, reshaped, and became something new. A figure tall, cloaked in shadows, eyes like stars. It spoke in a deep voice. You have passed our test, Alex Carter. But that was not the true trial. Alex, breathing hard, wiped blood from his forehead. Then what was it? You were never meant to fight us. You were meant to fight yourself. The shadow figure stepped closer. We see your fears, your doubts, your past failures. They follow you like ghosts. Alex whispered, I know. So now, one final test. The figure snapped its fingers. In front of Alex appeared a perfect copy of himself. Same face, same clothes, but colder, angrier. This is the version of you that never tried, never cared. The Alex who gave up. The double spoke. You're weak. You're lucky. You don't belong here. Alex stared at himself. I used to believe that. The double rushed forward. They fought not with swords, but with words, fists, fear. The double was faster, stronger, angrier. But Alex had something else. Purpose. He blocked a punch, rolled behind, grabbed his double's arm and said, I'm not perfect, but I keep going. And with that, the shadow Alex faded like smoke. Silence. Then the ground beneath him lit up. The tower was gone. The red sky faded. He was back in the floating chamber, breathless but standing. Professor Shah appeared before him, not through a screen, not as a test, but in person. You have done more than pass. You have awakened. Alex laughed softly. Awakened to what? Shah walked toward him, eyes glowing. To what humanity truly is, not muscle, not logic, not emotion, but all of them together. Adaptable, unpredictable, dangerous, and beautiful. Alex looked up. So what now? Now you lead. Suddenly, the walls around them opened like petals. A massive view of space, stars, planets, ships, unfolded before Alex's eyes. A fleet of alien vessels hovered in silence, waiting. This is the Mind Core fleet, Shah said. They follow the one who completes the trial. Alex stared at the stars and smiled. All right then, he said. Let's find out what's next. Alex found himself standing in a forest, but it wasn't Earth. The trees were made of crystal, tall and shining. Leaves shimmered like glass, and the wind carried a soft hum, like music without instruments. He turned slowly, expecting another monster, another fight. Instead, he saw two people, a boy and a girl, both around 10 years old, sitting beside a stream made of liquid light. They looked up at him, smiled, then vanished. Alex blinked. What was that? A soft voice answered from above. Phase 5, Morality. The real test begins now. Suddenly, the peaceful forest shattered like glass. Alex stumbled back, now standing in a dark room, lit only by 2 glowing pods in the center. Each pod held someone. The first, a man, middle-aged, tired eyes, wearing a doctor's coat. Heart monitor beeping slowly. The second, a teenage girl, wires connected to her head. A computer showed waves from her brain. A message appeared above both pods. Only one can survive. You must choose. Alex stepped back. No, not again. I already passed the morality test. That was a simulation. This is real. He ran to the man's pod. A screen blinked. Dr. Lee saved thousands of lives. Invented vaccine for alien human disease. Needs treatment within 60 seconds. He turned to the girl's pod. The screen read, Rena, age 17. Unknown powers. Brain patterns match ancient signal. May hold key to survival of Tsar's race. Alex's hands shook. Why do I have to choose? Why me? Because you are the one who made it this far. Leadership requires sacrifice. You have 45 seconds. He stared at them both. A hero and a hope. Save the past or protect the future. 30 seconds. Alex's heart pounded. He whispered, there has to be a way to save both. He ran to the panels beside each pod. Data poured in alien code. Mixed with English, he couldn't read most of it. He smashed keys anyway. Tried linking systems. 25 seconds. He saw something. A power line connecting both pods. A balance of energy. He had an idea. If I reduce energy by half, maybe both can stay alive, but weak. He typed fast, breath quick. The machine warned. Warning. Balance not stable. Chance of dual failure. 40%. 15 seconds. Alex closed his eyes. I'll take that risk. He hit execute. The lights flickered. The room shook. Both pods powered down. Not fully, but just enough. They stayed stable. Barely. And then, silence. The screen blinked. Override accepted. Unstable but functional. Both lives preserved. A door opened. Alex fell to his knees. Phase 5 complete, the voice said quietly. He was transported to a small chamber. Quiet, warm, with only one chair. Professor Shah was waiting. You broke the rules again. Alex looked up, tired. Was I wrong? No, you were, human. Shah circled him slowly. Do you know why this test matters most? Alex shook his head. Because power without morality is destruction, and morality without action is weakness. Alex whispered, I couldn't let either of them die. Shah stopped. Even if saving both meant risking everything. Yes, Alex said. Because if we always sacrifice one for the other, we lose who we are. Shah placed a hand on his shoulder. That answer is why you are ready. Ready for what? For the truth. The room faded again. This time, Alex stood inside a massive chamber, larger than any city on Earth. Floating above him were millions of small lights, memory spheres. Each sphere showed a life, a decision, a story. Human stories. Shah stood beside him. We have been watching your world for centuries, testing small groups, watching responses. Your people are imperfect, but full of potential. Alex asked, why me? Because you are both selfish and kind, smart and foolish, brave and scared. You are not perfect. You are possible. Alex stared at the glowing spheres. How many others passed your trials? Shah looked down. 3. In 200 years. Alex felt cold. And what happened to them? They chose power, or silence, or safety. But you chose life. A door opened behind him. Not glowing. Just a wooden door, like one from Earth. Shah said. Behind that door is your future. Not given. Chosen. Alex walked toward it. He stopped. Will I ever go home? That depends. Do you still believe Earth is your only home? Alex smiled softly. Maybe not. He opened the door and stepped into light. Alex opened the wooden door and stepped into silence. No machines, no glowing lights, just a quiet field under a purple sky. The grass was silver, moving gently with the breeze. A single tree stood in the center, its branches full of floating orbs instead of leaves. Each orb glowed faintly, like memories sleeping. And under the tree sat Professor Shah, but he wasn't wearing his usual silver coat. He looked older, tired, almost human. Dad. Alex stepped forward slowly. Where are we? Shah looked up. This is the core field. The heart of my world. Alex looked around. This doesn't look like a test. It's not. There are no more tests. Just truth. Alex sat beside him, unsure of what to say. For the first time since this all began, the air felt real. No danger. No noise. Just a calm before something important. Why me? Alex finally asked. Why bring a student from Earth into all of this? Shah didn't answer right away. Instead, he pointed to the orbs on the tree. Each one is a mind, a memory, a life from my world. Billions frozen in time. Their bodies are gone. Their thoughts live here. Barely. Alex stood. Wait. Your whole species. Are they dead? Dying. Shah said quietly. We are creatures of logic. We perfected science, reason, machines. We removed war, pain, even hunger. But we removed something else too. Alex whispered. Emotion. Shah nodded. And without it, we stopped evolving. We stopped dreaming. Eventually, we stopped living. So we looked outward. Shah walked toward the tree and touched one orb. It lit up, showing a Memrian alien child building a tower from light cubes, laughing. Then it faded again. We searched thousands of worlds. We watched, we tested. Most were advanced but cold. Others were wild but violent. And then we found Earth. Alex raised an eyebrow. You think humans are better? No. Just unfinished. Flawed, yes, but still growing. Shah turned to him. You lie. You love. You destroy. You create. You ask questions with no answers. You risk everything for people you barely know. That chaos, that spark, is what we lost. Alex sat back down. Quiet. It made sense now. The logic test, the strength challenge, the morality trap. It was never about winning. It was about being human. I thought I was just trying to pass a class, Alex muttered. XAR smiled faintly. You passed something much bigger. You were not the first student we tested, but you were the first to make it through. Without losing yourself. Alex looked at the field again. So what happens now? Shah raised his hand. The sky opened out above them. A massive structure floated, part ship, part city, glowing with alien tech and Earth-made machines fused together. That is the Ark. The last hope of my people. But it cannot fly without a spark, a new way of thinking. A leader who can carry both logic and chaos. Alex took a step back. You want me to lead your entire species? Not alone. We will help, but it must begin with you, a human, Alex paced. What if I fail? What if I make the wrong choices? Shah said. Then you will learn. That is the one thing your kind does best. Suddenly, the tree behind them shook. The orbs began to glow, one by one. They floated into the air surrounding Alex. He heard whispers, memories, laughter, cries, songs, thousands of lives. Trusting him, he fell to his knees. I'm just one person. Shah knelt beside him. That's how all revolutions start. With one person. A small orb drifted into Alex's hand. It pulsed warmly. This is my daughter's mind, Shah said softly. She was the last child born before we stopped feeling. She never learned how to smile. But I hope one day, you can show her how. Alex looked at the orb. It felt like holding the future. He stood, taller now, stronger, not because of power, but because of purpose. I'll do it, he said. XAR looked at him, eyes glowing brighter than ever. Then come. The Ark awaits its first real captain. A beam of light pulled them upward into the sky. The field vanished below. The stars opened around them. Inside the Ark, alien crew members bowed as Alex entered the command center. Machines turned on. Lights responded to his presence. A voice spoke, not Zars, but the Ark itself. Human presence confirmed. System rebooting. Emotion protocol active. As Alex stepped onto the command platform, he saw Earth in the distance, small, blue, alive. He whispered, I'll come back. And maybe next time, he'd be bringing more than just himself. Maybe, he'd be bringing hope. The sun was warm, the sky clear, and the sound of clapping filled the courtyard of Newton Science University. It was graduation day. Families waved, cameras clicked, students in black gowns threw their hats into the air, laughing. Speeches were made, certificates handed out, but one chair remained empty. Alex Carter's. 3 months had passed since he vanished. One day he was just a struggling student with poor grades. The next day gone without a trace. His professors had no answer. His name was marked as withdrawn. Only Professor Shah knew the truth. But Shah, too, had disappeared, or so everyone thought, as the final name was called, and the crowd began to leave. Something strange happened. The lights flickered. The sky above shimmered, just for a second, like someone had pulled a curtain aside. Then he appeared, right in the center of the stage, Alex Carter, wearing no gown, no cap, just a plain black jacket with glowing silver symbols stitched on the sleeves. People gasped. Phones came out. The dean stepped forward. "Mr. Carter, is this some kind of prank?" Alex smiled softly. "Not a prank. Just a return." He looked different. Not older, but sharper. As if he had seen too much. And survived it all. Someone shouted from the crowd, "Where have you been?" Alex looked up at the sky, then back at them. Far away. Further than you can imagine. Laughter. Confusion. Whispers. Another student called out, "Are you serious? You expect us to believe that?" Alex paused, then raised his hand. A small glowing orb appeared above his palm, humming softly. Spinning it projected a hologram, a map of stars, and in the center, Earth. Then the stars zoomed out, revealing a massive fleet orbiting a different world. Machines, cities, in space, alien species. Silence fell. Alex spoke, calmly. "There's more out there than textbooks can teach. And they're listening." Later that evening, in a quiet classroom, Alex stood alone near a window. He stared at the stars. Footsteps approached. It was Sam, his old classmate and friend. "You really did it, didn't you?" Sam said, whispering. Alex nodded. "And it's not over. Where's Professor Shah?" Alex smiled faintly. "He's home, watching, waiting. His people are rebuilding now. They just needed a little humanity." Sam laughed nervously. "And they chose you." Alex looked serious. "They chose us. I was just the first." A door opened. A familiar voice echoed in the room. "You were never the first, Alex. Just the first to believe." Alex turned. It was Xar. Wearing Earth clothes now. A suit that almost made him look human. Sam stepped back. "He's real," Shar nodded politely. "I've always been real." Alex asked, "Why are you here?" Shar walked to the center of the room. To complete the circle, he placed a small cube on the desk. It unfolded into a glowing console. A light grew, forming a portal. Beyond the portal was a city of light, floating in the sky. Earth and Zar's world, connected. Forever. The next morning, news spread like fire. Alien portal opens at university. Student returns from other world. Earth not alone. Governments argued. Scientists debated, but ordinary people, they looked up at the sky with wonder. And hope. Alex stood once more at the edge of the portal. This time not alone. Behind him were a dozen young students, scientists, engineers, dreamers. The first official team of Earth ambassadors. He looked at them. "You're not soldiers. You're not heroes. You're explorers. Remember that." Someone asked, "What if they don't like us?" Alex grinned. "We're human. We're used to being disliked." Laughter. He stepped through the portal. The others followed. Years passed. The portal remained open, but protected. Peace was fragile, but real. Zar's people began to feel again, to laugh, to rebuild. Earth grew, to not just in science, but in spirit. New schools were created, new languages learned, new dreams born. One day, a child on Zar's world asked her teacher, who was the first human to visit us. The teacher pointed to a statue in the city center. It showed a young man, standing tall, hand open to the stars. The plaque read, "Alex Carter, the one who didn't follow the rules, the one who made a new one." And somewhere, across 100 stars, Alex looked up from his seat on the bridge of the Ark, now fully alive, filled with life from two worlds. He watched as a new planet came into view, unknown, untouched. He smiled. "Let's see what kind of test this one gives us."